Hello everyone, I welcome you all to the next session of the digital system design. In the last class we understood how to derive switching equations from the truth table. So and we understood the different terminologies. So the terminologies like that literal, what is a literal, what is the sum of product, what is product of sum, that is what mean terms, max terms, canonical means terms, canonical max terms, all these we have understood. And how to write a canonical mean term expression or a canonical max term expression from the truth table. Okay, I will take one more example. Okay, so in the last class we have taken the first problem. That is what we have. That is what the majority of the logic one. Okay, so now I will go to take one more example. So assuming that when there are three inputs A, B, C, and the output Y. So I will complete the truth table 0, 0, 0. And here I am taking the output in a randomly. Okay, I am not taking any particular function actually, just randomly I am writing the output. Okay, so just randomly I have written. So let's see what is the max term equation and what is the mean term equation for this corresponding truth table. So that is f of a comma b comma c, and that is y equals to. So let's write the mean term expression first. So mean term expression means we need to look the logical one. Okay, and we need to write the corresponding inputs in a mean term form. Mean term form is, so when writing the 0, we need to take a complement. But when writing a max term, when we are writing the max term equations, we need to take a zeros, and wherever will be there 1, we need to take a complement actually. So now let's consider the mean term expression. Mean term expression or equation. So let's write the mean term equation, that is corresponds to 1, that is corresponds to 1 means 0, 0, 1, that is corresponding to A bar, B bar, C. So A bar, B bar, C plus next A bar, B, C plus next 1 is here, next 1, 0, 0, that is corresponds to the A, B bar, C bar. One more term is there, yes, 1 here. So that corresponds to the 1, 1, 0, that is equals to the A, B, C bar. So this is what the mean term equation. Similarly, let's write the max term. So again, y equals to, let's write the, here we need to look corresponding to the 0. So when we take the 0, that is corresponding to A plus B plus C. Okay, next one more 0 is there, so and next one is 0, 1, 0, this corresponds to the A plus B bar plus C. Okay, next 0 is here, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1 means A bar plus B plus C bar. One more 0, 1, 1, 1, that is corresponding to the A bar plus B bar plus C bar. Okay, so this we could write the mean term equation and the max term equation. Now, instead of writing these equations, max term equation or a mean term equation, okay, so instead of writing with the variables, even we can simplify this equation. Writing the equation can be simplified. How we can write this in a simplified form? The simplified form can be written by using the decimal notations of the individual variables. So this is the variable, right? So these are the variables. So what is the decimal value actually? It's corresponding to the, so this is corresponding to the 0, 0, 1. This entirely we can convert into the decimal notations. Okay. So that is what switching equation can write. Switching equation can be write in a decimal value. In a decimal value. Even we can write in a decimal value, just for the more to express in a more convenient way. Instead of writing this entire equations like this A bar, B bar, C, we can represent it in a decimal value. How to write in decimal value? To write a decimal value, we need to look to the corresponding whatever the mean term or it may be the max term, we need to corresponding to the write the decimal values. Okay, to write the decimal value actually first need to convert it to the binary value of the that corresponding mean term or a max term. So example for a mean term, so what is this corresponding to the 0 0 1, that is what right here 1 0 0 1. Okay, what is the decimal value of a 0 0 1? That is equals to 1, right, that is equals to 1. So this is in the decimal form and this is in the binary form and this is in the decimal form, so like that. Similarly 0 1 1, that is corresponding to the, so in a binary form 0 1 1, that is equals to the 3 in the decimal form, right, like that. Instead of writing the a bar b bar c or a bar b c like that, instead of writing this one, we can represent that in an decimal value 2 3 like that actually, 1 3 like that we can represent. Okay, when you need to represent like that, we have some notation we need to use for the mean term and the max term. So what is that one? Let's see that one. Okay, when you are writing the switching equation by using the decimal value, especially for the mean terms, we will going to use sigma notation. We will use the sigma notation. Okay, instead of writing these variables, we can use the decimal values by the sigma notation. Sigma corresponds to the summation, so that is what will correspond to the mean term equations. Okay, how to write that one? Okay, so to make you to write that one, actually I will take one more column here that corresponds to the row number. So what is the corresponding row number of these input values? So this is 0 0, what is the row value? That is equivalent decimal value, that is what it will be 0. And this I will call as a 0 0 1, that is equivalent value of decimal is 1, 0 1 0 decimal value is 2, like that, 3 4 5 6 7, that is what the 8 combinations we have. Now, so in this same sigma notation form for a mean term equation, how will you going to write? So let's consider the same equation. F of a comma b comma c, that is equals to summation of which are all the values that is equals to corresponding mean term is where we will going to generate the output 1. So we need to write the corresponding input combinations where the output will generate the logical 1. So again same thing here we need to write. Okay, same thing we need to do, but instead of writing the a bar b bar c, here we need to write the corresponding decimal values. That's it. So within the summation notation, within the bracket in a summation notation. So that is what summation of which are all the values where the output will be generated to the 1, that is corresponding to the mean terms. So which are that one? So here 1 1 1 1, that is corresponding to the 0 0 1 0 1 1 1 0 0 and 1 1 0, that is equals to 0 0 1 corresponding to the 1, next 0 1 1 that is corresponding to the 3, next is what 1 0 0 corresponding to the 4 and 1 1 1 0 corresponding to the 6. So that means what here 1 comma 3 comma 4, okay, and 6. So instead of writing, both are equal actually. Instead of writing the variables, even we can be represented in a decimal value just for our convenient purpose. That's what. In a more convenient way, we can write the canonical mean term expression or a canonical maximum expression. Okay. So in a decimal notation, how to write the decimal value? Okay. So here, whatever the mean term will be there, that we need to represent in a decimal form. The corresponding decimal value represented in a sigma notation. That's it. Okay, so this is what for the mean terms actually f of a comma b comma c equals to summation of 1 comma 3 comma 4 comma 6, that is equals to the a bar b bar c plus a bar b c plus a b bar c bar plus a b c bar. That's what. Instead of writing like this variables, even like we can write in a 1 comma 3 4 6, both that is equals to the same. One corresponding to the what actually 0 0 1. Which are all the variables a, b, c, that is corresponding to the a bar, b bar, c. That is what we have written here. Hope you can understand. So like that we will going to be writing a sigma notation. That is only for the mean terms. Okay. What about for the max term? Can we represent the even max term in a simplified form? yes, even we can represent the in more convenient way even for the max terms. How to do that? Same, by the decimal value only we are going to change, but here for the max terms we are going to use the pi notation. Okay, for max terms we are going to use the pi notation. We are going to use the pi notation. So let's write the equation for the max term. That corresponds to the a plus b plus c into a plus b bar plus c. For that, let's write that one actually. So f of a comma b comma c equals to pi of, so pi of indicates what the max term. Pi notation for the max term. Max term is we always need to look for the where the output generates to the 0. Okay, and we need to write the corresponding decimal value of the input. 0 0 0 0. Next 0 1 0 2. Okay, next 0 1 0 1. Next to 0 1 1 1. This corresponds to the 7 here. So like that we need to be write down. Okay, so if you look that one actually, f of a comma b comma c equals to pi of here. So which are all 0, next 2, 5, 7. 0, next is 2, next is 5 and the 7. So what is 0? Corresponding to the 0 0 0. That is equals to the actually a plus b plus c. This is what equals to the, because in a max term we need to represent in a summation form some term that is equals to a plus b plus c. So that's what. Similarly, I will write here actually 0 that is corresponding to the max term. So that is corresponding to the 0 1 0 0 1 0. That is equals to the in a decimal this is what in the binary, that is equals to the decimal form, that is 2 in a decimal. Right? That is what we are going to write 0 comma 2. Similarly, this value 5 and this will be 7. Okay, we can write this one by even in the 2 table only if we have the row numbers. Okay, so what is the corresponding row number of this input? We can write in a simplified notation form. Okay, not a simplified equation actually. Keep in mind, it is not a simplified switching equation. Just whatever the equations we got derived from the 2 table, that can be in a simplified way or in a more convenient way we can be able to represent by using the sigma notation and the pi notation. Keep in mind, pi notation corresponds to the mean terms and the sigma notation corresponds to the mean terms and the pi is corresponds to the max terms. So this is how we are going to write. Okay, let's take one example. So one more exercise, then you can be able to easily can write that one. Okay. So I will maintain this one. I will just change this function. Okay. So let's take another random variable. Okay, random output. Okay. Then let's write what is its equivalent, mean term expression and the max term expression. Okay. So same to table. I will take some randomly. I will take an output. So this is the output equation, assume that one. Okay. Then what is the mean term expression? What is the max term expression for this corresponding equation or for corresponding problem? Okay. So that is equals to f of a comma b comma c, that is equals to summation of wherever the 1 will be generated, we need to look the that's corresponding row number. Okay, that is what here that's corresponding to the 3, 4, 5, 7. So 3, 4, 5 and the 7. So this is what is the mean time equation. So this is what the canonical mean time equation. Instead of writing like that a bar, b, c, a, b bar, c bar, instead of writing that one, we can in a simple way, we can represent like this. So this is what one thing you need to be remember in a switching equation. Next, f of a comma b comma c, that is equals to pi of, pi corresponds to the max term, that is equals to the always will be, that is what here 0, 1, 2 and the 6. So this corresponds to the canonical max term equation. If you see the mean term equation and the max term equation, so if you see wherever the mean terms will be expressions, missing variables will be there, that will comes in the max term equations actually. You can see if you take the only the one output actually. If you are writing for the two table, same two table, always the mean terms and the max terms will be in a opposite actually. Wherever the output will be there, 3, 4, 5, 7 is there. Which are the missing in it? Because we can understand here 3 variables. 3 variables means 8 combination, that is 0 to 7. So which are all the values are missing? That will becomes in the max term. Missing is here, which are the missing? 0 is missing, 1 is missing. Next 5, 4, 5, 6 is missing. That will going to come here. 0, 1, 2 and the 6. So that is how is the max term. Okay, if you write for the only to the same two table. Okay, so hope you understood the how to represent a more convenient way of a mean time equation and the max term equation by using the sigma notation and the pi notation. Now we derive the switching equation, then we need to reduce the switching equations actually. So if you write the switching equation, whatever the way will be there, okay, then we need to have the more number of circuits will be there, more number of logic gates we need to use, more number of the logic gates we have to use means hardware will be higher actually, there is more number of components, hardware will be more number of size will be there, more size means we will be having that take a more cost, it may not be reliable. To have that one actually we need to simplify the switching equations. Okay, so how to simplify the switching equations, let's come to that one. So normal the way we will going to be use the switching equation simplification of is to be by using the Boolean equations. Okay, by using the Boolean's theorem or a De Morgan's theorem we can be simplify the any switching equations. But in that there will be more error will be there is more prone to error actually, and there may be even the process is very lengthy actually. Okay, let's see that one. Let's take an example, then you are able to understand. Okay, let's take an example just for the how to simplify the switching equations. So you should remember that one, our the sequence of design. So what is the sequence of design? Problem statement. From the problem statement we will going to construct the truth table, and from the truth table we will going to write the switching equation. We need to write the switching equation, then we need to reduce the switching equation. So up to this point we have already covered actually. Okay, how to write the switching equation, that is we can write the switching equation in a mean term form or a max term form from the truth table, that is completed. Then how to reduce, let's come to that point. So let's take an example for that. So let's take an example to how to reduce the switching equations. Okay, so this is the example I have taken. Okay, so let's write the whatever the Boolean equation and let's reduce that one actually. Let's simplify the Boolean equation. So let's write, I will go to take a mean term equation, you can take even maximum also, but maximum simplifications will be always a more complicated. Okay, always will go with the mean term equations. Okay, so let's write the what is the mean term equation for this corresponding output. So it is F equals to, so 1 1 1 will be there, so where will be 0 1 1, this corresponds to the A bar B C, next 1 0 0, that is A B bar C bar, next 1 0 1, that is corresponds to the 1 0 1, right, A B bar C plus A B C bar plus A B C. How we can write the simple form? Okay, so that is what in a sigma notation, that is equals to summation of 3 4 5 6 7, 3 4 5 6 7. Hope you know that one. Okay, so this is the equation. Now we need to simplify this one. Okay, so we need to simplify. Yes, we need to simplify. If not, as already said that one. So here, to implement this equation, we need a logical circuit to function this truth table. To have the logical circuit means here we need a more number of logic gates are needed. So here we need a AND gate, 3 input AND gate, 3 input AND gate, 3 input AND gate, like that we need a 5 AND gates are needed, and we need a OR gates are needed, actually 1, 2, 3, 4 OR gates are needed. Instead of using the more complex circuits, actually we can reduce that one. Okay, how we can? So because reducing the hardware means reducing the cost actually. Reducing the hardware will going to equal to the reducing the cost. That is equals to the more reliable circuit. Because everyone we need to love it to have the more compact devices actually. If having a mobile phone with a large one, do you like to have? No, actually. Always we're going to have a smaller size. More better to have in a AND actually, right? So like that. So that's why instead of having to the large equations implementing directly, we can simplify that one. So the simplifications we can use with different techniques are there. So generally what the techniques we have known, there is the Boolean equation techniques. Simplify using the Boolean theorems. Let's do that one. So what are the errors are there? How much length is that one? How to reduce that one? How to reduce that complexity, that we can see in the next. Okay. So how to simplify this equation? So if you simplify this equation, see here we need to look for the wherever the common terms is there, where we need to apply the De Morgan's, everything need to be observed. So if you see this here actually, if you see the first term and the last term, we can take a BC common, right? So if you take the BC common, so the remaining variable A bar plus A, right, from these two variable, okay. And again, if you see this, if you see the second terminal and the last but one terminal, again if you see here, A C bar can be take common. So A C bar if you take, and the remaining is what? B bar plus B and the plus A B bar C. So that's what the remaining one. Now, according to the Boolean theorem, we know that A plus A bar always that is equals to the 1, right? So this corresponds to the 1. 1 into BC, again that is what? A into 1, that is equals to always going to give A, right? So that's corresponds to the here BC plus AC bar, again B bar plus B, that is equals to the 1, okay? Next plus A B bar C, right? Now can we simplify further? Yeah, we can take a common A here, right? We can take A is common from these two variables, that is BC plus A. If you take a common, that is equals to C bar plus C bar plus B bar C. Okay, and even I hope you know that one. Actually, there is one more equation, is the standard equation, that is corresponding to the A plus A bar B equals to the A plus B. Hope you know that one actually. Okay, A plus A bar B can be written as an A plus B. See here actually, if you see the same equation is similar to the same kind. Instead of A, we have a C bar. Again, we have a C, complement of that one. A is there, A bar is there. So again, C bar is there, a complement of that one C. And then another terminal, B terminal is here replaced by the B bar. So this is equals corresponds to the what? A plus B. Similarly, this corresponds to the C bar plus B bar, right? Okay, hope you can have understood this one. So C bar plus B bar. So now we can replace the C bar plus B bar C by the C bar plus B bar. So that means BC plus A into C bar plus B bar. So this is equals to the BC plus AC bar plus AB bar. Hope there is no further simplification. Yes. Okay. So this is how we can simplify. So both the equations are logically same. So whatever this equation will give, same output will be given by the even this equation also. Okay. So that means implementing this equation or realize or implementing this equation is also good to same as the implementing this equation. So to implement this equation, so implementation means we need to write in a logical circuit. We need to write the logical diagram. So how to write the logical diagram? So as usual, we have a 3 inputs A, B, C. So B and C should be AND together. Next A, C bar, and this will be NAND together. Like that we can simplify actually. See, here we needed how many gates? Even I will write this one also. A, B bar, and this will be the NAND. All this together will be the OR. So this is equals to F. See how many gates we have actually? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 gates are there. But if you see here, to do this one we have one AND gate is needed actually. So example, I will take this equation only. A, B, C. So first we have A bar. Let's take this A bar. Then B, C, AND gate. Next A, B bar, C bar. So I will take the A here. B bar, C bar, all together again NAND. Okay. If you want, again you need to implement all this, means how many number of gates is there? More number of gates will be needed actually. See here, only we have only the 5 components. 3 AND gate, 1 OR gate, and the 2 NOT gates. So only 5 gates can be implement the equation. But if you want to implement this one, means so this will be needed for just implementing the only 2 cases. Here example, again one OR gate is missing. Just only implementing these 2 NAND, we need a 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 gates is there. Again implementing these 3, again more gates, or summation of all these one more OR gate. So that's what increases the hardware complexity actually, where more number of hardware will be there. Instead of that, we can reduce the hardware by using the simplified equation. So that's why we need to go with the simplified equation in our design task. That what? Problem statement, 2 table, switching equation, and that we need to simplify the switching equation if possible. Always we need to be better to simplify this equation. But when we simplify this using the Boolean equations like this, we need to be having the more lengthy function actually. See? So more length is there, and moreover, and here we need to be error prone is there more. If you are not able to apply some logic, or if you miss something, A bar or anything, if you miss that one, means again it will be more complex actually. Okay. So how to do that one? So instead of that, by using this one actually, we can have a different techniques are there. So which we will go to learn that one. So with the techniques which are going to learn is what? By using the K-map, what we call as an Karnaugh map technique, and the Quine-McCluskey technique. K-map technique and the Quine-McCluskey techniques. So these 2 techniques we are going to use how to simplify the switching equation by using the Boolean theorems or a De Morgan's theorem. So how to simplify that one by using the different techniques that we are going to be learn now actually. And one more thing is we need to understand here. So when you have a simplified one equation, even we can able to convert this to the equivalent canonical form also. So this is a simplified form. So this is the canonical form where all the variables will be having for the corresponding to the logical one generation. That is what the canonical equation. And this is the normal mean time equation or the normal SOP. Can we convert the normal SOP to the canonical SOP? Yes, we can convert that one. So let's see that how to convert the normal SOP equation to the canonical SOP. Okay. So I will take this equation, same equation. So I will erase this one. So f equals to BC plus AC bar. So that is f of A comma B comma C. That should be known actually. How many number of input variables? We should know that one. So BC plus AC bar plus AB bar. I have written this equation. Now, can we convert this equation to the normal canonical form? Yes, we can. How to convert that one? Here we need to see that which term is missing. In this individual mean terms, which term is missing we need to identify. Okay. But we should know that one, how many number of inputs variables are there. the corresponding inputs for that corresponding switching equation. So here if you see the switching equation, we have a 3 variables are A, B, C. See, if you see the B and C is there, the missing variable is what? The A. Or missing literally is what? A. Okay. Then how to write that one? So here, so missing whatever the term will be there, that will be and with its corresponding complement actually. So that will be how to do that one. Here the missing terminal is A. So here we need to AND the A plus A bar. A plus A bar will be AND that what? Missing variable with its complement will be AND to the particular individual terminals. Okay, that is what we will. See, if you see here for here, which is the variable missing? B. So that is what? A, C bar. Missing variable is B. So here we will be to write a B plus B bar. We are going to write. Okay. Similarly, for this one, which is the missing variable? C, A, B bar. C plus C bar will be AND. That is what? Product. Okay. Now we need to be simplified. So how to do that one? We can multiply this one. So by using the Boolean theorem, we are going to apply this one. So BCA plus BCA bar, then A C bar B plus A C bar B bar, next A B bar C plus A B bar C bar. Okay. So if you see this A bar BC, okay, you can see that, see, this term and this term are repeated actually. So again we know that one x plus x will be always equals to the x, right? Okay, according to the Boolean theorem. So instead of writing the two terms same, we can replace that using a 1. Okay, so according to that one, let's rearrange that one. So let's form an ABC. Okay, just we're going to be able to understand in a better way. So ABC plus A bar BC, then ABC bar plus A B bar C bar, then A B bar C. Again, instead of writing that one, we can write in a only one term because both are C. See, again we can see here actually ABC A bar C bar. That is equals to the same equation actually. So you can see here A bar BC is there, A bar BC, next A B bar C bar, A B bar C bar, next A B bar C, A B bar C, next A B C bar, next A B C. So like that we can convert the normal SOP to the canonical SOP. Okay, just we need to AND the which is the missing terminal. Okay, like that we can convert this to the normal SOP to the canonical SOP. So these were the SOP and this is the canonical SOP. So what is the canonical SOP or canonical minimum is all the variables will be there for the corresponding to the logic one. So like this. Sir, okay, we can convert the SOP to the canonical SOP. Similarly, can we convert to the POS to the canonical POS? That means max terms to the canonical max terms. Yes, we can convert that one also. Okay. So here I will take a general example. Okay. So hope you have understood this part. I will erase this. So f of a comma b comma c. So I will take an example just for the represent in max terms. Okay. How to convert the max term equation to the canonical max term equation. So here randomly I am taking, okay, f of a comma b comma c equals to a plus b to a plus c bar. So assume this is the equation we have. Okay. So we need to convert it to the canonical form. How to convert into this max term equation to the canonical form? Okay. So here what we have did here actually, we multiply the missing terminal with its complement, right? Similarly here also we need to be plus sum the missing variable with its complement. So that means a plus b plus, which is the missing terminal actually, missing variable here c. So c bar, here will be complement or a product term will be summed here actually. If you see here some term will be ANDed. Similarly here actually product term will be summed here. So for the missing one. And next here a plus c bar plus B, B bar. Now we need to apply the distributive law. I hope you know the distributive law. So what is the distributive law? So A plus BC equals to A plus B and A plus C. Hope you know this. Okay, distributive law of an Boolean theorem. So assuming that one, if here I will take A plus B as a or just A, B, C, if you use, you can maybe confused. I will use x plus yz equals to x plus y and x plus z. This was the distributive law. Okay, so this entire whole term I will consider as a x and this is the yz. So we can write as a x plus y and x plus z. Applying that one, we can write as a plus b plus c and then a plus b plus c bar, and like this again here a plus c bar plus b, a plus c bar plus b bar. Again, if any repeated things are there, see a plus b plus c bar, a plus c bar plus b, both are same actually. We can write in a 1. That is again equals to the same. X into x equals to the x, right? So instead of writing in 2 terms, we can write that one. So that is a plus b plus c, a plus b plus c bar, a plus b bar plus c bar. So this was the canonical form. So this is the POS, okay, and this is the canonical POS. So like this we can convert the normal equations to the canonical equation. Okay, so with this introductions or with this one, so now we will move to the how to reduce the switching equations by using the K map or by the Kuhn-McCluskey in the next session.